The Royal Guard. I am Elenora, the King's shadow. No one knows my identity. I carry no banner, no title, but I am the most loyal one by his side. Among others, I am a silent guard, and by night, I am eyes in the darkness. The night I was summoned to the palace, a sense of dread filled me. The corridors were empty, the torches burned dimmer, the silence deeper. When I arrived at the throne room, the king was resting on cushions, pale, weak. His eyes were on me, and they were filled with tears. "They poisoned me," he said, "but this betrayal did not come from outside." My breath caught. "Who?" He didn't answer. Instead, he placed a sealed piece of parchment in my hand. "Find the true heir to the throne. Protect them. They will know when the time comes. Only you will recognize them." I bowed my head. He didn't see the tears in my eyes. That night, the king died. And I was no longer the royal guard. I became the last hope of a kingdom. When we announced the king's death, there was silence. No mourning, no tears. Only restrained sorrow and hidden schemes in people's eyes, especially in one. Duke Marion, the closest blood relative to the throne. "The throne must not remain empty," he said after the ceremony. "The kingdom cannot drift like a ship without a captain. The king had no final words, so tradition will guide us." Tradition. According to it, he was the rightful heir. But I had heard something stronger than tradition. A command. That night, I sneaked into the archive room. I used no light. Every valuable piece of information was either in the map in my mind or hidden behind the secret key I carried. The archive keeper, Talaran, flinched when he saw me. But when I spoke with my eyes, he nodded. "I have something," he whispered. "The king made a secret pact years ago. A union with someone outside the palace, forbidden. But a child was born." My blood ran cold. "Where is the child now?" Talaran lowered his head. "Sent to the mountains right after birth. His name, Yven. But no one knows what name he lives by now." At that moment, we heard footsteps beyond the door. Talaran paled. I slowly drew my sword. The door opened. Duke Marion's men. They were looking for me, and it was time to run. As I sprinted toward Talaran's secret passage, the footsteps grew louder behind me. Duke Marion's men, swift enough to tear through the palace silence. The stone floor of the archive betrayed my every step. Talaran looked into my eyes one last time. "Go. If they catch you, the heir's fate is sealed." When I pulled the hook on the panel, the stone floor shifted aside. A dark tunnel opened before me. I didn't say goodbye. I leapt in. The old escape tunnels beneath the palace had been forgotten for years. I hadn't. That night, Elenora was no longer a guard. She was branded a traitor, hunted. But no one knew that I was still loyal to the king. Years passed. I lived in hiding, in forests, towns, the shadows of old friends. And finally, I found him. Yven. Now a young man. He didn't even know his real name. When I told him who he was, his eyes looked not at me, but at the ground. "I don't want to be king," he said. "You don't have to want it," I told him. "Those who want to stop you are growing stronger. If you exist, there is still hope." And we set out together. It wasn't a short journey. It was long, bloody, cold. Loyal ones joined us. Old guards, common folk, even a cloaked sorcerer from the past. In the meantime, Duke Marion had crowned himself. declared himself the temporary king. But he ruled like a true one. Prisons were full and fear had taken root in the palace. The soul of the kingdom was dying until we returned. When the palace gates were broken down, Elenora was no longer one who walked in the shadows. She stepped into the light. The people saw her. They saw Yven, the goodness in his heart, the fire in his eyes, the king's gaze in his face. Duke Marion was waiting alone in the throne room. No sword in hand, he only said, "Even if you kill me, don't think the war ends here." I gave only one reply. "We haven't won a war. We've restored justice." Yven spared him, sent him to the dungeons. He built his throne not with vengeance, but with virtue. As for me, there is always a shadow behind every king who rises to the throne. But I am no longer a shadow. I am the royal guard. And this time, I protect not just one man, but an entire people.